Hello student, once again welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I will tell you about variation of conductivity, that is kappa, and molar conductivity, that is lambda m, with dilution. So in this video I will tell you how conductivity varies with dilution and how molar conductivity of strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte varies with dilution, and finally we will discuss Coriolis law. So stay with me till the end of this video, and if you get benefited from my video, please like my video, share my video, and please do subscribe my channel. So let's start with our topic, variation of conductivity and molar conductivity with dilution. So first of all we will see how conductivity, that is kappa, varies with dilution. So what is meant by dilution? Dilution means you are adding water, that means you are decreasing concentration. Now the variation of conductivity can be understood from the very definition of conductivity. So you must remember the definition of conductivity. Now what is conductivity? Conductivity kappa, how it is defined, you can go through my previous video to know the definition of conductivity, but once again I am telling you the conductivity definition is, it is the conductance of an electrolytic solution placed between two platinum electrode 1 centimeter apart and having area of cross section 1 centimeter square. It is the conductance of an electrolytic solution placed between two platinum electrode 1 centimeter apart and having area of cross section 1 centimeter square. So basically it is the conductance of 1 centimeter cube solution. So it is the conductance of 1 centimeter cube electrolytic solution. That means it is the conductance of all the ions which are present in 1 centimeter cube solution. So it is the conductance of all the ions present in 1 centimeter cube solution. Suppose you have say 1000 ions in 1 centimeter cube. Now you have added water. How much water? Say you have added 9 centimeter cube water you have added. So the final volume become 10 centimeter cube. Now the total number of ion was 1000 centimeter cube. Sorry, the total number of ion is 1000 ions. Now initially the number of ions in 1 centimeter cube is 1000. Now the number of ions in 1 centimeter cube is only 100. So you can see as we increase the dilution, that means as we add more and more water, the number of ions per unit volume, that is 1 centimeter cube, decreases. So concentration of the solution decreases. As concentration decreases, conductivity decreases, because conductivity is the conductance of all the ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. So what we can conclude? Conductivity decreases. Conductivity decreases with dilution. That means if you increase dilution, conductivity decreases, or you can say conductivity decreases as concentration decreases, because you can see here the concentration is 1000 ion per centimeter cube, here it is 100 ion per centimeter cube. So as concentration decreases or volume increases or dilution increases, conductivity decreases. That's all. Next we will see how molar conductivity varies with dilution. The molar conductivity, it is denoted by lambda m, and it is equal to, lambda m is equal to kappa into V. Lambda m is equal to kappa into V. Here kappa is the conductivity and V is the volume. Now this V, volume, it is the volume which contain 1 mole of the electrolyte. So it is the volume which contain 1 mole of the electrolyte, 1 mole of the electrolyte. Remember once again, it is the volume which contain 1 mole of the electrolyte, because the definition of molar conductivity is, it is the conducting power of all the ions produced by dissolving 1 mole of the electrolyte. Conducting power of all the ions produced by dissolving 1 mole of the electrolyte. So suppose you are having, say, 1 mole of the electrolyte in 1 liter. 1 mole of the electrolyte in 1 liter. Now you have added 9 liter water. So right now you are having 1 mole in 10 liter. So now the volume V has increased 10 times. Here V is 1 liter, here V is 10 liter. So you can see with dilution, that is by addition of 9 liter of water, the volume increases. That means this volume increases. So if the volume increases, lambda m should increase. But there is one more factor, this conductivity factor. Right now we have seen the conductivity decreases as volume increases. This conductivity, it decreases as volume increases. So there is two contradictory factor, one increasing, one decreasing. So what should be the net effect? I cannot tell, anyone cannot tell what should be the next net effect. The net effect is actual the experimental data, and the experimental data, it has been observed that lambda m increases. What? Lambda m increases. So what we can say? We can only say that the increment in volume predominate the decrease in conductivity value upon dilution. Once again, we can say the increment in volume predominate over the decrease in conductivity value upon dilution. So this is what about the variation of molar conductivity with dilution. So we have seen that molar conductivity increases. Now how it increases in case of strong electrolyte, how it increases in case of weak electrolyte, that we will see next. Now here we are going to see the experimental data, all experimental data, nothing theoretical. The experimental data, we are going to explain the experimental data using our known theories. So let's start. This is the plot of molar conductivity with concentration. It is the root over concentration which was initially taken by D. by Huckel, and so we all will take that only. In your book also you will find this root over C. This is the zero concentration. Now here if you take, say, potassium chloride, this is the curve of potassium chloride. If you check the curve for hydrochloric acid, it will be a parallel curve just above potassium chloride. This is hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid, potassium chloride, their conductivity increases as concentration approaches zero. How concentration approaches zero? As you do more and more dilution, the concentration of the solution decreases. That means with dilution, concentration decreases and molar conductivity gradually increases. Now you may tell, sir, what will be the value at zero concentration? Why the curve is incomplete? Because practically it is not possible for any instrument to detect the molar conductivity at near zero, because at that range the noise level of the instrument becomes so high that you cannot measure the conductivity at zero. But what we can do? We can do one thing. We can extrapolate this straight line and we see where it meets the y-axis, that is the lambda m axis. So here it meet the lambda m axis, and this we call lambda m0. 0 stand for zero concentration, or we can also write lambda m infinity. The infinity stand for infinite dilution. At infinite dilution, concentration becomes 0. At 0 concentration, it is coming directly because this point is at 0 concentration. So we can write both the term, either of these two term, lambda m infinity or lambda m0. So we can determine the molar conductivity at 0 concentration or molar conductivity at infinite dilution. How? By extrapolating the straight line. What we are doing? By extrapolating the straight line, we can find out the molar conductivity. Okay, that's good. Now the question is, why the curve of potassium chloride and hydrochloric acid increases but gradually, it does not increase rapidly? Okay, that we will see first. And why HCl is having higher conductivity than potassium chloride? These two questions first we will discuss, and then we will come to the weak electrolyte. Now this HCl and potassium chloride, they are strong electrolytes, so they will dissociate into H plus ion, Cl minus ion. Here KCl will dissociate into K plus ion plus Cl minus ion. Okay, so the dissociation is 100% for strong electrolyte. When the dissociation is 100% for strong electrolyte, that means the number of ions at this concentration, at this concentration, at this concentration, that means here the number of ions, here the number of ions, here the number of ions, here the number of ions are same. What I am telling? They are strong electrolyte, so they will dissociate completely into ion. So the number of ion at any concentration, number of K plus ion, number of Cl minus ion at any concentration is same. That means the number of ion does not change. Then also the conductance, that is molar conductivity, increases. Then why molar conductivity increases? The ions, number of ions is not changing, but still molar conductivity increases. Now see, now whenever you take say 1 molar HCl solution, in 1 molar HCl solution, the H plus ion and the Cl minus ion, they are close together. The forces of attraction between H plus and Cl minus, that is interionic force, is very strong. This type of ion pair we call it intimate ion pair. Intimate ion pair. Now the moment you add water, what happened? The H plus ion, Cl minus ion, this ion get slightly separated. So H plus and Cl minus are separated. We call it separated ion pair. Now as the distance between the two ions increases, because the solvent molecule comes in between the two ions, so the interionic attraction decreases. As interionic attraction decreases, the ion move faster. The H plus ion move towards cathode, the Cl minus ion move towards anode at a faster rate. So conductivity increases. Now at infinite dilution, what happened? At infinite dilution, the amount of solvent is too high. When the amount of solvent is too high, so here we can write the H plus ion and Cl minus ion are far separated. They are called solvated ion, completely solvated ion. So in this situation, the completely solvated ion, they can migrate or they can move independently. So at this point, that is at infinite dilution, the H plus Cl minus, they move independently. There is no more attraction between H plus ion and Cl minus ion. So their movement is independent of each other. So hope you understood that the molar conductivity increases gradually. It is due to decrease in interionic attraction. It is due to decrease in interionic attraction. The number of ion does not change, it remains same, only the interionic attraction decreases. How the interionic attraction decreases? As you add more and more solvent, the solvent molecule comes in between the two oppositely charged ion, and so their attraction force decreases, and hence they move more freely, and as the movement of ion increases, the conductivity increases, because the conductivity is due to movement of ion. Conductivity of electrolytic solution is due to movement of ion. Conductivity of metallic substance is due to movement of electron. Okay. Now the next question. The next question is between K plus and H, KCl and HCl. HCl is having higher molar conductivity value. Sorry. HCl is having higher molar conductivity value as compared to KCl. Now that also you can answer very easily if you see the ions furnished from both of them. So you can see there is a common ion, that is Cl minus ion. So the mobility of Cl minus ion in both the case it is same. So neglect it. Now come to the cation, H plus ion, K plus ion. Now this H plus ion and K plus ion, their mobility are different. H plus has the highest ionic mobility and hence its molar conductivity is maximum. Now you will tell me that why sir H plus is having the highest ionic mobility? It should have the lowest ionic mobility because H plus ion is the smallest ion. So as the ionic radii is very less, it should be highly solvated, isn't? Just as like say lithium plus, sodium plus, then potassium plus, then rubidium plus, then cesium plus. So as you go down the group, lithium plus, sodium plus, potassium plus, rubidium plus, cesium plus, ionic radii increases. As ionic radii increases, their solvation decreases and so their ionic mobility increases. So in aqueous solution, potassium ion being larger in size has higher mobility than sodium ion. Then how H plus is having higher mobility in as compared to K plus ion? This is a JEE level question, and often in the NEET or JEE you will find this question, H plus ion is having higher mobility than K plus ion. This is because this H plus ion, it gets solvated by water molecule. Now this H plus combined with the water molecule to form H3O plus. The next moment it moves into the center as H plus. Next moment it moves as H3O plus. Like this it moves. That means the H plus is not moving with the solvent molecule like lithium plus, sodium plus, potassium plus. The lithium, sodium, potassium, they are solvated by water molecule and they move with the solvent molecule. But here H plus, it does not move with the solvent molecule. It goes through the solvent molecule by forming H3O plus and then again H plus, then H3O plus, like this. So the ionic mobility of H plus ion is much higher than K plus ion. Okay, hope you understand this. The interaction of the H plus or K plus with water, that you know, I believe. Okay, that also I can tell you H plus ion or say K plus ion, how it interact with water. Water molecule, it is delta negative, delta positive, delta positive. So water is having a negative pole, positive pole, so it is a polar molecule. So it is having dipole, that is negative pole, positive pole, negative pole, positive pole, like this. So we can write the negative pole will come close to potassium, all the negative, and the positive pole will go away from the potassium. this is what is called solvation. As the ionic radii of the cation decreases, solvation become maximum. That's why lithium is having maximum solvation, and so it is very difficult for lithium ion to move with the solvent molecule, whereas potassium has less solvation due to its large ionic radii. Okay, next we will move on to the weak electrolyte, how the molar conductivity varies in case of weak electrolyte. Let's see. Now in case of weak electrolyte, say this is acetic acid CH3COOH, the molar conductivity varies like this. Okay, now why molar conductivity of weak electrolyte is so less initially and then it increases abruptly? Now since we are talking about a weak electrolyte, we know that the dissociation of weak electrolyte is incomplete. The dissociation of weak electrolyte is incomplete. So suppose you are having acetic acid CH3COOH, it dissociates partially into CH3COO minus plus H plus ion. Say at 1 molar concentration the dissociation is very less, only say 5% or 10%. As we decrease the concentration, that means as we add more water, then what happens? The degree of dissociation increases. That we have learned in class 11 equilibrium chapter, that with dilution the degree of dissociation increases. So as we add more water, the degree of dissociation increases. The degree of dissociation becomes say 20%. We add more water, 30%, 40%, 50%, like this. So initially if you have taken 1 mole, say 1 molar solution, both are 1 molar solution, all these three. So in case of HCl and KCl, they dissociate completely. They have 1 mole of H plus ion, they have 1 mole of Cl minus. But in case of acetic acid, say only 10% dissociated. So with 1 molar solution, you are having only 0.1 mole of H plus and 0.1 mole of acetate ion. So the number of ion here is very less. Hence the molar conductivity is very less. But as the number of ion increases upon dilution, because with dilution, as dilution increases, the alpha, that is degree of dissociation, the degree of dissociation increases. As degree of dissociation increases, number of ions increases. So lambda m increases sharply. Now again, the concept of intimate ion, solvent separated ion and completely solvated ion is also applicable for weak electrolyte, but that will increase only a little bit in the ionic mobility of the ion. But as number of ion increases, the molar conductivity increases sharply. But if only the number of ion remains same, only the mobility of the ion increase, then we see the molar conductivity increases gradually. Here the molar conductivity increases sharply because here ionic mobility increases, at the same time number of ion increases. So here only one factor is responsible, that is ionic mobility. Here two factor is responsible, one is ionic mobility, second is number of ion. Since two factor is responsible, the curve is not a straight line. The curve is not a straight line, it is a rectangular hyperbola curve. Okay. Okay, next. Now in case of weak electrolyte, say acetic acid, as you can see, As concentration approaches zero, the molar conductivity increases abruptly and it becomes parallel to y-axis. So if it becomes parallel to y-axis, then it will never intersect the y-axis and we will never be able to find out the lambda m naught or lambda m infinity. Lambda m naught or lambda m infinity. So what we will do? For strong electrolyte, we can find out lambda m naught and lambda m infinity. Both are same thing. They are called limiting molar conductivity. Why they are called limiting molar conductivity? Because the molar conductivity increases and finally reaches a maximum value, and that maximum value is called limiting molar conductivity. So you can write down the definition of limiting molar conductivity. Write down, because often in your CBSE exam you will see question what is meant by limiting molar conductivity. Right. As concentration approaches zero, upon dilution, the molar conductivity of strong electrolyte increases gradually, and if the curve is extrapolated, it reaches a maximum limiting value. Called limiting molar conductivity. Why limiting value? Because your concentration cannot go beyond zero. It cannot become negative. So zero is the limit. So we call it limiting molar conductivity, and it is the maximum value. So we say maximum limiting molar conductivity or simply limiting molar conductivity. Okay, now come to our weak electrolyte. For weak electrolyte, we cannot find out the limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at zero concentration, molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Then how we can calculate? Yes, we can calculate the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolyte by using Korrat's law. So next we will discuss how using Korrat's law we can calculate the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. Korrat's law. Actually, it is Korrat's law of independent migration of ion. Korrat's law of independent migration of ions. Korrat's law of independent migration of ions. Now, before I go into the statement of Korrat's law of independent migration of ion, let me first discuss the experiment by which Korrat come to this law. What Korrat did, he found out the limiting molar conductivity of sodium chloride. He found the limiting molar conductivity of sodium bromide. Okay, he found the limiting molar conductivity of potassium chloride and the limiting molar conductivity of potassium bromide. Then what he did, he had taken the difference of sodium chloride and sodium bromide, the limiting molar conductivity value, the difference of sodium chloride and sodium bromide, and the difference of potassium chloride and potassium bromide. And surprisingly, he observed that the difference is same. Surprisingly, he observed the difference is same. The difference in molar conductivity of sodium chloride, sodium bromide, and that of potassium chloride, potassium bromide is same. Now, what he did, he then further do experiment on other electrolyte, and he found that this pattern is observed with everyone. This pattern is observed with every electrolyte. The main thing is it should be at infinite dilution or at zero concentration. Now see here, at infinite dilution, I told you at infinite dilution what happened, the amount of solvent is very high. As the amount of solvent become very high, the sodium ion, it is separated by the solvent molecule from chloride ion. That means the sodium ion and chloride ion, they does not interact, they are free, they are independent as the law says. So sodium ion and chloride ion move independently. Here sodium ion, bromide ion move independently. So the molar conductivity is due to independent movement of sodium, independent movement of chloride. So if you took the difference, then the sodium will cancel out. It will be the difference of chloride and bromide. Here also the potassium will cancel out, and it will be the difference of chloride and bromide. Hence this experiment led Kohlraasch to establish this law, that is law of independent migration of ion. Now write down the statement of law of independent migration of ion, and please try to write exactly what I am saying, because in CBSE if you write the exact definition, then only you will get marks. Okay, write down the statement. At infinite dilution, comma, when the dissociation is complete, each ion makes a definite contribution, towards the molar conductivity of the electrolyte, irrespective of the nature of the counter ion, So what does it mean? It means if you have sodium chloride, lambda m sodium chloride at infinite dilution or at zero concentration, then it is the sum of the contribution of the cation plus sum of the contribution of the anion. Okay, this lambda, this is capital lambda in Greek alphabet, this is small lambda in Greek alphabet. The capital is used for electrolyte, the small is used for the ions. So molar conductivity at infinite dilution is the sum of the molar conductivity of the individual ions. So this is the mathematical form of Kohlraasch law. Now how we apply Kohlraasch law? Let's see the application of Kohlraasch law. The first application of Kohlraasch law is in determination of lambda infinity or lambda naught or limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte, that is lambda m naught of acetic acid. So theoretically we can write lambda m naught acetic acid is equal to CH3COO minus plus lambda naught H plus ion. Okay. Now it can be written like this: lambda naught CH3COO minus plus lambda Na plus. So I have added sodium plus lambda H plus ion plus lambda Cl minus. So I have added Cl minus. In the next I will remove sodium and chloride. So what I have done, with acetate ion I have added sodium, with H plus ion I have added chloride, and at the end I have subtracted sodium and chloride. With acetate ion I have added sodium, with H plus ion I have added chloride ion, and then at the end I have subtracted sodium and chloride both. Now this acetate and sodium, they combine to give sodium acetate. Now this sodium acetate is a strong electrolyte, CH3COONA. This H plus Cl minus, that is also a strong electrolyte, HCl. This Na plus Cl minus, that is also a strong electrolyte, NaCl. So for sodium acetate, for HCl, for sodium chloride, we can find out the molar conductivity at infinite dilution or at zero concentration using in extrapolation method. That is, we will extrapolate the curve and we will find out the lambda m infinity or lambda m naught. So for acetate, sodium acetate, hydrochloric acid, sodium chloride, we can find out the lambda naught, and by addition and subtraction we can find out the lambda naught of CH3COOH. So we can determine the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte using Coriolis law. So it is the first application of Coriolis law. Now come to second application. The second application is determination of degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation alpha. How we determine degree of dissociation? CH3COOH, it dissociate CH3COO minus plus H plus ion. If you take C mole, 0 mole, 0 mole, C 1 minus alpha. This we have done in class 11. C alpha, Ka is equal to C alpha into C alpha, C 1 minus alpha. So from here we can write C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Now what is alpha? Because if we can determine alpha, we can determine Ka also, that is dissociation constant, acid dissociation constant, acid dissociation constant. Now the degree of dissociation alpha, it is defined as number of molecule dissociated, number of molecule dissociated or ionized by total number of molecule. Number of molecule ionized by total number of molecule. So number of molecule ionized, how we will get number of molecule ionized? So if you think about lambda, that is molar conductivity at any concentration. Molar conductivity at any concentration will represent the conductivity due to the ion produced by the dissociation of acetic acid. molar conductivity at any concentration is due to the ion, that is acetate ion and H plus ion, produced by dissociation of the electrolyte at that concentration. So the number of molecule dissociated can be written as lambda mc. C means at a particular concentration the molar conductivity represent the number of ions. Now the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. At infinite dilution, I told you the degree of dissociation become 1, that is 100% dissociated, all the molecule dissociated. As dilution become very high, all the molecule dissociated. So the molar conductivity at infinite dilution represent all the ions, that is all the molecule. So it is divided by lambda m infinity. So alpha is equal to lambda mc divided by lambda m infinity, because it represents the number of ion at any concentration. It represents the number of ion from all the molecule, because at infinity all molecule has dissociated. So if you can find out the alpha value, we can easily find out the Ka value. And you will see in CBSE there are questions on finding alpha as well as Ka. So you can easily find out the acid dissociation constant as well as degree of dissociation. So with this I will finish my lecture here, because already I have consumed much time. So if you get benefited from this video, please share this video with your friend and like this video.